Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Sunday Messages. We are talking all about appreciation today and the energetics of appreciation. I am going to explain the difference between appreciation and gratitude, and I'm going to be talking about how to use appreciation in a more constructive way. There's a lot of baggage around gratitude lists. I'm going to unpack all of that. And let's see, is there anything else I'm talking about today? I'm just going to be giving you a fresh perspective on appreciation and a way to look at it that hopefully will make more sense in terms of your day-to-day life and how to apply this for yourself. I think a lot of people get frustrated and pouty and annoyed by the idea of gratitude. So I'm going to be clearing all of that up for you today. And as always, if you like this podcast episode, please give me a glowing review on Spotify. And please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, follow, share. You know the drill. If there's anyone who needs to hear this, send this to them. And I'm hoping this will clarify quite a bit for people. One time-sensitive thing that I do want to talk about, I have opened up a new bundle for this week and this week only. If you are a fan of DIY classes, if you're a fan of my podcasts, if you're a fan of energetic mechanics, you all know that is my jam. That is my thing. More of the technical side of energetics and explaining all of that. That's what I love to do. So I am calling this the Magician Bundle because it's all about the technical side of energetics. So energetic mechanics, the quantum field, time, all of that good stuff. So the bundle is Dom, the White Rabbit, which is my time class, and Fabric of the Universe. Those three. And I've put it on a fire sale price for this week only. All of these are going to be open for individual sale, and there's going to be a bundle available for $3.99. So normally, each one of these is $333 each, and I'm putting the bundle on sale for $3.99 for all of them packaged together. I also did the math. I went through all of the different videos and I calculated how much content is inside, and it's almost 14 hours of content. So it's instantly available as soon as you buy the bundle. You just add the items to your cart. I'll put the link in the description box in the show notes, but you get emailed the content immediately. So it's instant access, DIY. If you're into energetic mechanics, this is for you. If you want more about the quantum field, more about the mechanics of your own energetic field, the mechanics of time, how to use time. I ran the White Rabbit last year. It was fantastic. I was very into understanding time and learning how to manipulate time for myself, understanding time perceptions, all of that nerdy shit I was super into and experimenting with in my own life. And so it's all of my content about time. Dom, if you are unfamiliar with Dom, that is personally one of my favorite programs. It's a longer lecture and then a Q&A rather than being chopped up a whole bunch into different videos. And that is really about how to calibrate your own energetic field in order to evoke things from other people. So back in 2020, 2021, that era, I really started to notice that my idea of free will started to get in the way of my creative abilities. So I noticed that I kept defaulting to, yeah, I can create, but free will. Like free will is a problem. I don't have any control over that free will piece. And it was actually the excuse that I kept giving over and over and over again. So I had to put the idea of free will on a shelf, and I started experimenting with other things and it got super juicy is what I will say. So there's a lot of information about your energetic power, your energetic influence, and evoking what you desire from other people. And also if you're inviting and evoking baggage and problems and issues from other people, that also pertains to that conversation that we have in there. And then Fabric of the Universe, the Golden Child, everyone's favorite class. I didn't realize this. Fabric of the Universe has like 6 hours of content in it. It was originally a 3-day masterclass. We also did a Q&A, and I added a later module that you wouldn't have received unless you paid for it. So that is all behind a paywall now. And I didn't even realize there was 6 hours of content in that one alone. So those are the 3 that are included in the bundle. If you want them, get them now. If you just want one of them, or if you're going to get 2, you may as well just get the bundle. But if you just want one, they're going to be available individually, and the bundle is available. So you can go browse, take a gander, take a look at all of your options down there and enjoy. If you want it, get it while it's hot. The coupon, or it's not really a coupon, the discount expires on the 12th, August 12th at midnight. So just keep that in mind. You have until Saturday night. Okay, let's move into, I want to open with gratitude. I want to open with everyone's baggage around gratitude lists. I feel like we've all attempted to be grateful when we really have not felt it. And it just is this phony, I'm trying to be grateful for these mundane things in my life, but I'm so sour about how things are going for me right now. I can't even conjure the emotion. And those types of gratitude lists are not helpful, for one, because it doesn't matter what you're trying so hard to do. It matters how you feel. And if you are feeling sour and angry and upset, that is not the same frequency as appreciation. So that's way, way, way far away emotionally. And in terms of what you're emitting, that is like you've got a ways to go before you climb up into that higher frequency. So here's the other reason. You may have heard Abraham Hicks say this, and I know it confuses a lot of people. Appreciation is more pure than gratitude. Gratitude still has resistance. And really, this is because most of the time, or I should say, a lot of the time, people use gratitude comparatively. So here's what I mean. I have the definition of it pulled up. Pleasing by reason of comfort supplied or discomfort alleviated. And the acknowledgement of discomfort alleviated. So if you were to say, I'm so grateful that's over. Do you notice how the problem that was originally present is active in that statement? I'm grateful that difficult time passed. I'm grateful that I got by just barely. That was a close call, but I'm grateful it worked out. There's a lot of collective consciousness around that near miss energy, or around having a problem and then reaching a solution and then feeling grateful as a result. Now, in its purest form, it's appreciative of benefits received. That's the other definition that's there. That's the primary definition. However, the definition that I read about discomfort alleviated is where there is still a resistance activated. There is still a problem activated in that definition. So I also want to mention this is not a universal experience. There are some people who are super grateful with their whole heart and they mean it, and it's in the frequency of appreciation. But what I know for many people in the personal development space is that gratitude was one of those things that was almost weaponized for a lot of people. Like, well, you should be doing your gratitude lists. You should be writing 10 things a day that you're grateful for. You should be blah, blah, blah. You should be grateful for all of the things that you have. That funky energy around clubbing yourself with a gratitude list is something that I just know a lot of people have attempted and a lot of people have done, or even in your worst moments, trying to do something like write a gratitude list. That's such an inappropriate tool, emotionally speaking. If you're in the depths of despair and then you try to bust out a gratitude list and getting into the space where that feels genuine and authentic, I won't say nobody can do it, because I'm sure there are people who can, but my God, that would feel like you're trying to force a quantum leap. That would not be, I talk about emotional relativity all the time, that's not emotionally accessible right off the bat. And so I just feel like the whole idea of gratitude, and what I notice about people is that gratitude lists, being grateful has kind of been poisoned a little bit. There's too much mixed energy around the word collectively, and how it was used and how it was bastardized and how it was kind of thrusted upon people in a way that ended up being really confusing, because you can't force gratitude. You can practice appreciation. And I would say that is more of a functional utility, a functional way to use appreciation. So for the sake of this conversation that we're having, I want us to put gratitude on a shelf. Okay, I want us to, for the time being, let's just say there's a lot of collective baggage around it. Don't worry, God isn't going to smite you if you use the word gratitude or write a gratitude list. There's nothing wrong with it, but I want to shift our focus to appreciation instead. And I think this is going to be quite helpful for many of you. When we are talking about appreciation, I want us to look at it more from the mechanical definition. Appreciation is to add value, to recognize and add value to something. So if you purchase a home, let's say you purchased a dingy little house in a beautiful neighborhood, and then all of a sudden you started loving the kitchen and you redesigned the kitchen and you gave it a fresh coat of paint and you were loving up on that house. You have appreciated the value of the home through your focus and through your energy. So now the value of that home has drastically appreciated. And this is exactly how it works energetically as well. When you genuinely and authentically, this cannot be forced and it cannot be faked. The best thing you can do is practice, and I'll get to that in a moment. But when you genuinely appreciate something and you put your positive attention on it, it will grow and it will compound. We all understand the law of attraction, but most of the time we limit the idea of law of attraction to material possessions or things after they've already materialized. We don't often have the conversation about the energetic solidification. This is what I was talking about during the last podcast, is that it may begin in immaterial forms. So if you are focusing on something positively, you're going to receive more thought forms that match it. And if you focus there long enough, it's going to generate more energy that is going to appreciate in all sorts of ways. And it's going to compound, and then things are going to pop in the material. This is the reason why it's powerful. Appreciation is very powerful because It is positive, focused attention. And when you add the genuine aspect of it, if I am genuinely appreciating something, I am doing nothing but giving concentrated, positive energy to a topic. And every time I do that, it's right up there with exactly how God feels, right? If we were to think about this infinite source of pure unconditional love, pure unconditional love is essentially, we have too many stories about love gone wrong, right? Love going sideways, love going bad. That appreciation is actually more of a pure frequency, even than our collective idea of love. And so having nothing but pure focus, loving attention, appreciative attention on a topic is right up there with God's perception, God's perspective, the infinite source of love's perspective, which is why it feels so good. So, how you would use this in practice, how you would actively practice this is acknowledge, focus, and speak to the things that you like. When something is good, talk about it a lot. When you like something, talk about it a lot. When you're enjoying something, talk about it a lot. When something good happens during your day, talk about it a lot. Talk about it, focus on it, milk it, remember it, because you're adding the energy to it. And as soon as you focus on something, that calibrates you. So if you're focused on something in a positive way, you become a magnet for more of that. This is also one of the things that happens in relationships a lot of the time is people believe that they will evoke changed behavior through criticism. But criticism is the equivalent frequency of depreciation. So in the same way that you can spruce up a house and make it add in value, you can just as easily tear it down. You can tear up the wallpaper and tear out the carpets and make it look like a hot mess and remove all the appliances and depreciate the value of that house. So a lot of the time, what you'll see in relationships is there's a positive trajectory or a negative trajectory simply through nothing more than appreciation. If you're appreciating and appreciating and appreciating and appreciating and loving and focusing in a positive orientation towards your relationship, it's going to give you more. Not only is it going to reveal itself through just basic law of attraction principles because you're just a magnet for more, but it also has to do with the person that you're with is also going to want to give you more because of the appreciation. If you do something well and you're met with criticism, you're not going to be jazzed to do it again. You're not going to be enthusiastic about going out of your way to do that again. You may as well not bother. And so when that happens, a negative trajectory begins where then whoever is being criticized is going to clam up and contract around the idea of doing it again, because why bother? Why expend energy in that way? And then that is going to compound into more reasons to criticize. And now you have this never-ending cycle of I'm being met with criticism. And so now I am not motivated to do anything good here. I may as well, like, why bother? And then I'm being met with more criticism for not doing that thing, but I'm also punished when I do it anyway. So why would I do it again? Why would I even try? And usually couples get so deep into that negative trajectory that they don't even know where it began. because it's just compounded blaming each other and avoiding. Or, one person is being criticized and now wants to avoid the situation. That is so common. And that is so common. And it completely makes sense if you're looking at it through a magnetic perspective. If you're just looking at it through strictly a law of attraction lens, that's it, then the math completely adds up. And it's unsurprising when you see someone in a couple make a decision to unconditionally appreciate or love, things start to shift. Because then the momentum begins to add up in the other direction. Then the positive trajectory of momentum begins and appreciation begins. And then the value, in the same way the house increases in value, the value of the relationship also increases when you're starting to positively focus on the attributes and the aspects that you love and adore, that are working. And the thing is, when it comes to appreciation as a practice, it is better to start with things that feel genuine, even if they're small. Small acknowledgements will carry you a lot further than doing things that you feel empty or hollow about, that maybe they're really good, but you're not really getting juiced up by the acknowledgement of it. This is all about what genuinely makes you feel, what genuinely inspires the feeling of appreciation within you. I was in a really good flow the other night, and I was just basking in this appreciative energy, and it felt genuine. It felt real. It wasn't something that I was forcing. I didn't hold a gun to my head and force myself to do, a gratitude list. It was nothing like that. It was simply me putting positive attention and acknowledgement of concepts. I know that sounds a little bit cerebral, but I was appreciating the idea of these things. I was appreciating my own dreams and desires. I was appreciating the things that have not yet come into my reality. I was appreciating thoughts alone, not even things that had materialized. And so when you are able to do that and really get into that zone where you're feeling this pure, like, I am just loving the fact that this thought exists or that this concept exists. Like, when is the last time you did this with money? When is the last time that you just sat and basked in appreciation for the fact that money gives you the ability and the opportunity to do different things? Just the fact that it exists and it does that. We're not talking about having gratitude for money in the bank. Do you know how many people will emotionally contract around that idea? Or how many people are like, yeah, I'm grateful to pay this bill. And they do it with this sour, fussy attitude. That won't work. That's not genuine. That's not authentic. And so if you can actually zoom out further to the point where you're simply appreciating the existence of money as a concept, as a man-made thing that we get to interface with, as this, appreciating the medium of it, that's a whole other conversation. And when you do that, it actually makes you an energetic match to receive more good things. Appreciation is always, 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 because of the purity of it, it will always bring good things to you. If you walk around all day and you're like, I love this, I love that, and I love how that looks, and I love how this person acted, and I love the smile that I got from here, and I love the way that peach tasted this morning, and I love this, and I love this, and I love this, whether it is through thought alone or feeling, like I love the way that I felt whenever, just now, earlier today, that one time, if you just sat and did nothing but that, and you practiced that, all sorts of goodness would flood into your experience. And sometimes, like, I know that I gave you all the, in the last episode, I talked about how there's several people that I want to hire for like my financial division of my business, okay? And so what I've been doing, because I haven't pulled the trigger on hiring them yet, I've just been appreciating the fact that they exist and appreciating the fact that our missions are very similar and that our perspectives are very, very similar, and how I'm just appreciating the fact that this time-space reality brought the existence of this person into my awareness. That's it. Like, that's all I'm doing right now, because it's going to enable all of the things that need to occur in order for me to hire these people. And in order to make this a reality, all of the events and circumstances and whatever, the things that need to happen will, because of my positive attention on the situation. So this is where, instead of looking at appreciation as something that you either feel or you don't, or that you have to force, instead, if you can look at it as a practice of generating momentum around the things that you feel purely good about, that will really take you a long way. It'll add momentum. It'll resolve things. It will make you an energetic match for more good things. It will clarify situations. It'll bring solutions. Because again, you're right up there with God's perspective. You're right there, where the wholeness of who you are is now gazing upon the situation. So now all of the resources that need to come together and create the highest possible outcome will. So you will energetically dominate the situation when you're able to bring appreciation into the mix. And this is why people who appreciate each other, the relationship just gets better and better and better and better and better over time. And people who endlessly criticize each other, the relationship gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse over time. It's math. It's not even that complicated. It's just about momentum of focus, period. So my challenge to you this week is genuinely appreciate as many people as you can. Genuinely appreciate as much as you possibly can. Acknowledge more things that you appreciate for longer stretches of time. When something good happens, focus on that. When you're loving something, appreciate it, acknowledge it, think about it, focus on it, contemplate it, milk it. Don't allow yourself to get distracted prematurely, and instead return to this positive focus with the knowledge and the understanding that that's an indication that more things will come. They will be drawn into your field magnetically. All of this has the power, no joke, to clear up pretty much everything that you have going on in your life. I'm serious. You'll find miraculous solutions will come into the mix when you're holding this frequency long enough. So that's why the practice is powerful, because when you are criticizing, you are blocking solutions. When you're criticizing and complaining and venting and bitching, if that is what you dominantly do, the solutions cannot get to you. So this is all a frequency game. And I'm very curious for any of you who really make it a point to do this week to see what happens, how it goes. Please leave comments, DM me on Instagram, tell me what's going on. If anything magical happens, if you notice that this is highly effective, which if you're doing it right, it absolutely will be. Remember, no poopy diaper attitude when you're doing this. If you're doing that, then you're doing it wrong. Then you should go listen to this episode again to really get the message. All right, but please let me know how it goes. Hold it unconditionally. Maybe at some point I'll do an episode on unconditionality because that really matters as well in this conversation. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget, the Magician Bundle is out. Dom, Fabric of the Universe, and the White Rabbit. Those are the 3 classes. It is on an excellent discount. You save $600. Are you freaking kidding me? It's amazing. Go check it out. It's in the description box. It's in the show notes, and it's where you know the links are. And that is all for now, friends. Send this to someone who needs to hear it. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.